Hi everyone, I'm Sandy Saturn. I've lived in Richmond for 26 years. My family came over to the U.S. from Laos as refugees after the war. And I remember growing up in Richmond. I lived half of my life in North Richmond, all over. My mom has 8 of us and she's a single mom. Single parent, and we traveled all over Richmond, living in different housing projects. I actually remember going to Perry's Elementary School. That's where I attended elementary, and it's right in front of Chevron, the refinery. And instead of practicing fire drills or earthquake drills, we were practicing oil spill drills or explosion drills. And actually one day while school was in process, there happened to be a spill, and what ended up happening was, the teacher handed out these really thin cloths that we put on over our mouths and our nose, and we went in bus and just drove around for hours around the city until supposedly it was safe for us to go back to school. And I remember actually that evening going home, and my whole body started itching, my face started itching. Next thing you know, I couldn't open my eyes. They were like shut, my whole face was swollen. So I went to the hospital and we waited hours and hours because there were tons of community people there with the same issues. We waited hours to be seen, and all the doctor could say was, this is probably a result of the spill, and so it should be going away in the next couple of days. And that was the result that we got from the hospital. And I remember actually getting a payment. So I got a couple $100s from Chevron for being sick, right? For being exposed to all these toxics. And as a kid, I was like, yay, that's great. A couple $100s for some rashes, cool. And I didn't learn about, all this injustice until I joined APEN and LOP's youth project, Asian Youth Advocates. When I found out that, what they were doing is trying to buy our health, the health of our community. It's not right. So I'm here today to say, Chevron, you need to take responsibility for all that you have done to our community. And what we need is to pressure the city council